You are now tuned in to Heat Check with Ty Slatter and Antonio Turner, right here on GTA Sports Network. Follow GTA Sports Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, GTA Sports. And don't forget GTASportsNet.com for all things in the world of sports. Who is Black King? Since you're not on the air right now, you can tell who Black King really is.
I can keep it real. I can keep it real. Black, that's my alter ego.
Yeah.
Black is the embodiment of everything that I went through. I'm a Chicago kid. I'm from the south side of Chicago. Black is the embodiment of all of that.
Right.
And he's the embodiment of the struggle, and he just puts it into lyric form. And, I rap a little bit less nowadays. It's a little bit more few and far between. But when the appearance is made, I shake the room. And I don't have it sounds like I might be tooting my own horn a little bit right now, but I promise you, these are only things that I'm echoing from my peers and from my fans. I only echo what they say because I don't like to give myself a lot of praise. So yeah, you can check me out. We'll put a link somewhere. When this drops, I'll drop a link in the comments.
Okay, now I know you got a fan base out there that is aware Black King is known as the heavyweight champion. So can you kind of tell those of us that don't know how you got the title? Who did you fight to win the title, and how have you been able to hold on to that title for so long? You have like the longest heavyweight title reign that I've ever known in WWE history.
Man.
So can you let them know how you won that title? Tell
man. So the story goes, and actually, AJ Berry is the heavyweight. I'm the heavyweight champ. Black's not the heavyweight champ. He just carries the belt to shows. He thinks he's the champ, but nah, I'm the champ.
So AJ Berry, okay, got you.
I won the belt. I went down to South America, man. I was out in Argentina, and we had a contest, right? We had a gauntlet match, and I wrestled 7 different men in a row, and I beat them all. 1, 2, 3. And I came home with the World Heavyweight Championship belt, which I redeemed Naptown's World Heavyweight Championship belt. And now everybody is after me, and they'll never get it. They'll never get it.
They'll never get it.
They'll never take it. I'm going to be the longest reigning champion of all time.
Wow. Well said, man. I would say I've never seen a reign this long ago before in wrestling history. So I mean that's impressive, man.
It's historic.
Man. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go into the NBA real quick, and because you are a Chicago native, I want to know your thoughts on the Chicago Bulls. Just straight off the top, just whatever comes to mind when you think Chicago Bulls outside of the 6 rings, D-Rose. What we got, man?
Yeah, we're talking current. We're talking
right now. Right.
Man, the Bulls are a very good depiction of Chicago sports in general, right? So we have a decent roster. We have a really good starting 5 when we're healthy. Injuries have been plaguing us for years, and it's something that's not going away. It's a problem that we need to fix, but unfortunately, I don't see how we fix it without going into a full rebuild.
Right.
It's going to be tough. We had a little bit of hope a couple years ago, and then Zoe's injury really set us back. Zoe was a winner.
So a full rebuild. All right, now I want to before we dive into the rebuild part of it, because you brought up a valid point. I want to touch on. I followed Lonzo Ball from UCLA and Chino Hill, so I followed the whole Ball era, right, 2016 up to now. And what I saw was Lonzo had your team number 1 in the East prior to him going down with an injury. So I saw what they saw. They said, okay, we get Vucevic, we get Lonzo, Alex Caruso, fresh off a championship in LA. You're the best defensive guard you probably had in years. And one knee injury, the team falls apart. And DeMar's looking around like, I came here to relax, and now y'all got me closing games. Why?
DeMar didn't come there to relax. DeMar came there to win. He was in San Antonio to relax. We had a real chance. We had a real chance to be a contender, but those injuries, man, it's hard to break that. Lonzo was a tough break, and shout out to Kobe White, because Kobe has been criminally
slept on. Criminally slept on.
And should be a candidate for most improved, if you want to be honest. The way that he's been playing these last 2 months, he definitely should be a candidate for most improved if he keeps it up. I think he should win. But the Bulls are underachieving because of these injuries. Zach LaVine has missed upwards of 12 games this year, and
I
he's
can't
a
stand Zach
trade bait
LaVine.
at this
I
point.
got my thoughts on Zach LaVine. It ain't pretty. I don't like Zach LaVine at all.
We'll get into it.
I
We'll get
don't.
into it. But
I
yeah,
truly don't.
I would like to see him offloaded as well. But if we offload Zach, we really need to rebuild the team.
Start all the way over. Yeah.
Yeah, because Zach's not happy there, and that's unfortunate because he and DeMar, their games complemented each other so well in that first and second and halfway through the second season before Zoe got hurt. And now that Zoe's not there to facilitate, Zach is having trouble with DeMar getting the ball first. And
Yeah.
it's unfortunate to see, but Zach LaVine is also a black hole. When he gets the ball, he's going to shoot it.
Thank you. Zach LaVine went from being what some have considered the second coming of a Vince Carter type at dunking to trying to be a great value Walmart version of Damian Lillard. That's how I see him now.
I would akin him more to just Vince. I would akin him more to Vince in New Jersey. Where Vince started to extend his game and take more jumpers.
Yeah,
but Vince was also very smart with his shot taking, and Vince had Jason Kidd to make sure that he was smart with his shot taking.
I agree.
That's what Lonzo Ball was doing for he and DeMar DeRozan, but now that Lonzo's not there, DeMar is the clear leader of the team, and I think that brings Zach a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that. Zoe was the glue that pretty much covered all the flaws that they have as individual players. Exactly. And once Zoe's out of the picture, everything comes to the surface.
Yep, he was the poster over the hole in the wall, and now the hole is just there, and we got to fix it. So like, it's a thing.
Do you build around Kobe White, or do you set him free and let him move on with his career?
It depends on what you can get back for him. You listen to offers for him because Kobe is the type of, his personality strikes me as the type of guy that won't bend under the pressure of being put in the trade talks. But you look for what you can get for Kobe, for sure. You definitely do. You have this guy making this type of making this type of improvement, this type of gap jump, but you know what his ceiling is. You know, like we know what Kobe's ceiling is. He's not going to do everything that he needs to do, but he's going to do enough, right? So I don't know. I don't think we give him up for nothing. But if we can get a first round pick, 2 picks out of it, a first round and a second rounder, or maybe even a late first rounder, it'd be nice. But we'll see. We'll see how he goes.
Well, as of today, at the time of this recording, the Bulls are 9th. That means that if the playoffs started tomorrow, they're in the play-in with the pieces they have,
which is horrible.
I know, scary, right?
It's horrible,
and not in a good way.
The Bulls are 3 games under 500, and we haven't been able to put together more than a 3-game win streak all year.
Right.
I don't like it.
Well, I don't want to get off this part real quick. With Zach LaVine, I kind of felt like he was faking the injury to get traded, and it didn't work out. It kind of blew up in his face because his trade value dropped because he's been injured for the last 2 months.
You know, I wanted to say the same thing, and I thought he would get traded before the new year, but it just didn't work out that way. And now he actually is hurt. He tweaked his ankle 2 games ago, and now he's out for another 2 weeks. And obviously the deadline is coming up in about 2 weeks, so we're gonna see what happens. I don't know if we make a deal, but this year we'll see.
Well, can we at least agree on the fact that your front office overpaid when it was time to pay Zach?
No,
he's not worth what you paid.
I don't agree with that at all. No, I think
you don't think it was overpay?
Well worth the money. Whoa. Well worth the money. You have to think about the situation we were in at the time when Zach got that bread. We needed Zach. We could not let Zach walk. Because if we did let Zach walk, we don't get Vooch, we don't get DeMar.
They paid Zach. They paid Zach after they already had Vooch on under contract. Zach got paid.
Because it was the offseason. We got
this last offseason. Yes, you already had Vooch. Yeah. So I'm asking you, based on him getting the max, super max. He got the big super max before the rules changed. The last big super max, and it was like, I felt like it was an overpay based on his production, based on what he does on both sides of the court, which I feel like he could do a whole lot more on defense than what he offers. But that's where I compare him to Dame. Dame is a Hall of Famer on offense, but on defense, he's a casual. He's a vagabond. And I feel like Zach is like that too. That's the comparison I was making.
I can see that, but you still pay him. You know, you still pay him. You don't let Zach walk.